What is the dumbest thing you've ever heard someone say? Well, she never got pregnant before after his GF got pregnant, and after asking my friend why didn't he use protection, that there's no difference between turkey and ham because they both come from birds. I guess pigs really do fly in their world. Someone in our group lost a flip-flop in a river. We watched it float downstream. Another person in our group said to be patient because it'll eventually do a full loop and come back. I was microwaving some food. I hit the one so it would automatically cook it for a minute. My friend asked, why did you put it in for a minute? I usually put mine in for 60 seconds. I had to explain to him that it's the same thing. We were in high school. This involves a conversation with a guy the first used to work with who was trying to lose weight, so he was cutting down on pasta. Him: I've been doing pretty good. Haven't had pasta in 2 weeks. Me: that's awesome. What's that you got in your hand there? Him: mac and cheese. Me: I thought you said you haven't had pasta in 2 weeks. Him: I haven't. This is mac and cheese. I dated a girl who thought seahorses were the size of regular horses. She was so disappointed at the aquarium. How long does it take the meat to grow back on a cow when you shave it off? A new hire at the cotton mill that had dropped out of school to go to work. How long do we get off for spring break? My chiropractor can cure autism with his bare hands and some essential oils. Too bad her chiropractor couldn't cure stupid. I knew someone who thought the sun and the moon were the same thing. She was 18 and just graduated high school. You know right-angle triangles? Well, yeah, there are also left-angle triangles because triangles have 2 sides. The question right above this in my feed is, why is a square called a square when it has 6 sides and 8 corners? Friend and his girlfriend were over watching some TV when an ad for an Anne Frank documentary comes on. GFO. Wasn't she like Hitler's daughter or something? The room became very quiet for a while. You can't get pregnant if you are on top. Open mouth smile. I was solving a Rubik's Cube and a guy asked me how many sides it has and if I can make them all blue. You have your facts and I'll have my facts. Rep. Hank Johnson D. Gar, who thought the island of Guam might tip over if too many people got on one side. I dated a girl who thought the hole in the ozone layer are where the space shuttle come through to land. Was on the bus headed to class in Honolulu. A southerner got on and asked the driver, "Do y'all take American dollars?" The driver pointed at the American flag sticker on the window and with extreme exasperation said, "You're in America." Years ago, I found myself watching MTV Street Smarts with a man I had recently met. The question asked on the show was to put these events in chronological order from oldest to most recent. The events were Civil War, Man on the Moon, Ice Age. I laughed. I joked what a ridiculous question it was. He didn't seem the least amused. So I asked him, "You know this, right?" He replied, "I'm not good with dates," rolling on the floor laughing. I don't have a girlfriend because females are too intimidated because of my career. He was an assistant manager at Outback Steakhouse. Anyone else not able to sleep at night? Yeah. I don't think I'm ternal. Took me a few to realize she thought the term was not ternal. Got a couple from my days working in tourism in Hawaii. One of my favorites was, what's the difference between your mushroom and Swiss burger and your bacon guacamole burger? Next one. For context, for those that don't know Maui, You can see two different islands from multiple vantage points on the island. Anyway, we had stopped at a lookout for some tourists to take a picture, and a guy, being completely serious, asked, "So which one is Japan?" Rolling on the floor laughing. I was like, "Japan is about 3 miles to the northwest if you can see it. You have superpowers, sir." My childhood friend picking his team on a soccer video game. The UK. Is that us? X200B. We lived in Ohio. I once heard someone say they believe the old lady from the Titanic movie is an actual Titanic survivor. When I told them she's an actress, they tried to call me bluff. Am I going to be accountable for everything I say? Overheard my old boss berating the rest of the staff in a shop I used to work at. My child has a high IQ. Quality. If you drink a Coke, then a Diet Coke. The sugar cancels out. These fireworks are wet. I'm gonna dry 'em off in the microwave. That 16-year-olds should be allowed to drink and drive. They spent at least 10 minutes trying to legitimately defend this point to a room of adults. The individual making the point was in her late 20s. When I worked at Starbucks, it was frequent question from customers to explain the difference between a hot and an iced drink. Many years ago, I had a short stint as a used car salesman. I overheard a fellow salesperson talking with a customer about a used truck he was looking at. The truck was 1 year old and had 15,000 miles on it. The customer told him, "This is way too much money for this truck. I can get this year's model brand new for $2,000 less." My fellow salesman fired back, "Sure. But think of how much a new vehicle depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. Within a year or two, this truck will actually be worth more." He did not make that sale. We were closing down the Bed Bath & Beyond I worked at, and we moved all the non-functional displays of the kitchen appliances off to an empty corner. Roped it off and put up signs that said displays do not work. Every single day, multiple times, we would find someone that had gone under the ropes over in that far-off corner looking at them, and when we went to run them off, they would ask what it means displays do not work. A manager at my old job thought Alaska was an island next to Hawaii, because that's what it looks like on a map. Also asked me one day if you could get an STD from breathing the same air as someone with an STD. There were more, but I can't remember the rest. And this person was in charge. I'm allergic to oxygen. I asked if they meant to say oxycodone, and they insisted no, they were allergic to oxygen. Asked for diet water on a plane. What year did this happen? We were watching The Lord of the Rings. This steak tastes just like beef. Salmonella is only caused by salmon. You're a chef, you should know that. Read this on a post in R. Mildly infuriating. I can't wear condoms because my sperms are too big and they fight in there. This is an island sitting in the middle of an ocean, and it's a big ocean. A really, really big ocean. Surrounded by water. Big water. You can't drive your truck there. I was talking with a man from Pakistan, and he asked me what my core beliefs were. I said my core beliefs were rooted in science, and he responded with, "Oh, science. So all you care about is plastic surgery, boob jobs." He took the entire field of science and labeled it as boob jobs. I don't even remember his name, and it's not worth remembering, but that politician who said if it's legitimate rape, the body has ways of shutting down a pregnancy or something like that.